Soviet human rights warning by 200 MPs.
Ulster bomb scare at Liverpool Airport.
And a family's ordeal, terrorised by armed raiders.
Good evening. You're watching Sky World News tonight at 11 o'clock with Alison Holloway
And Stephen Cole.
More than 200 MPs have put an advertisement in tomorrow's Times. Allied paratroopers land in Kuwait City. In 9 hours, Allies pushed 25 miles inside Kuwait in a massive land attack. Saddam urges his troops to fight, 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 but thousands surrender. Good morning, you're watching Sky News. 24 hours continuous coverage of the Gulf War. It's 10 o'clock, I'm Penny Smith.
Good morning, I'm Stephen Cole. Day 39 of the Gulf War and day 1 of the long-awaited land battle.
From the Sky Satellite Network, this is Sky News.
Stop kidding yourselves, Heath warns Tories to face their problems. Search for missing trio, Irish police arrest a man. And getting out, thousands flee civil war in Yemen.
This is News at 12 with Stephanie Callister.
Former Prime Minister Sir Edward Heath has told Tory MPs to stop attacking John Major.
This is Sky News, part of the Sky Television Network.
Car bomb wrecks Manchester shopping centre after IRA warning.
More than 100 are injured, but no reports of any deaths.
John Major calls it a dreadful act.
This is News on the Hour.
Good afternoon. More than 100 people were injured when a car bomb exploded in Manchester's main shopping centre today.
This is Sky News.
Winter warning, thousands of pensioners at risk from cold weather.
Warning to Milosevic, restore democracy or face isolation.
And our private hell, a family's nightmare over the Saudi murder charges.
This is Sky News on the Hour.
Very good evening to you. There's a warning today that many old age pensioners face a stark choice this winter.
This is Sky News.
Protests and prayers as a Woodward juror admits she got it wrong.
Blockade ahead as the French truckers man the barricades.
Monty wears the European crown, but will he walk away?
Live at 5 with Mark Longhurst and Fiona McDermott.
A rebuke for Britain as a French court frees ex-MI5 man.
The minister says sorry to MPs for not registering interests.
And another report into the Diana crash blames the driver.
Sky News on the Hour with Bob Friend and Anna Botting.
Branded a liar. Archer is jailed for 4 years. And jousting in the high street. 2 drivers fight over 1 parking space.
Sky News with Martin Stanford and Juliet Foster.
A very good evening to you. Lord Archer has begun a 4-year jail sentence, branded a liar.
A day of rage, protests on the streets of Pakistan.
And now, anthrax in New York. NBC says one of its employees has tested positive.
Sky News with Jeremy Thompson and Natasha Kaplinsky.
Hello, good evening. On the first Muslim day of prayer since the coalition airstrikes on Afghanistan began,
Best gets a new liver in an operation lasting 11 hours. 2 down, 5 to go. The Torpedo takes 2 swimming golds and a world record.
Sky News with Bob Friend.
Good evening and welcome to Sky's 9 o'clock news. Doctors treating George Best.
target Baghdad. Allies launch 500 cruise missiles in a day.
And up in smoke, oil wells are ablaze.
Sky News with Chris Roberts and Kay Burley.
Hello, good evening to you. Large explosions have been seen and heard in Baghdad, leaving manslaughter, not murder. The German cannibal is jailed for 8.5 years.
A bit more of that. And music to the ears, we'll meet Australia's latest singing sensation.
Sky News with Mark Longhurst and Kay Burley.
Hello, very good afternoon. A German cannibal has been sentenced to 8.5 years in prison for killing and eating a man.
Breaking news tonight claims that Iraqi militants have murdered a second American hostage. And England reached the Champions Trophy final, beating Australia for the first time in 5 years.
Sky News with Chris Roberts and Paula Middlehurst.
Good evening to you. Well, breaking news tonight within the last half an hour.
This is Sky News at 9 o'clock. Our top stories tonight. Baghdad bombs. At least 20 people are killed as the Iraqi capital is rocked by explosions. 3 powerful blasts hit the city centre, all close to hotels used by foreign journalists.
Also tonight, education, education, education. Tony Blair spells out his plans to give state schools in England more independence. And why it's back to school for Jamie and the dinner ladies.
Live from the Sky News Centre, This is Sky News Tonight with Chris Roberts and Gillian Joseph.
Good evening, this is Sky News Tonight. 3 powerful explosions near Baghdad hotels used by foreign journalists and contractors.
On Sky News at 11, Life on Mars. NASA makes an astonishing announcement about what it's found on the red planet. And at 5 Alive, all the British clubs progress to the last 16 of the Champions League. Also this hour, the stories making tomorrow's headlines. The former BBC boss Greg Dyke and the Daily Mail columnist Anne Leslie review the papers for us at 11:30.
Live from the Sky News Centre, this is Sky News with Gillian Joseph.
Good evening and welcome to Sky News.
The top stories this morning. The family of missing Madeleine renew their appeal for information as police confirm their daughter was abducted. And United close in on the Premiership title after victory in the Manchester derby.
Live from the Sky News Centre, this is Sky News with Luquesa Burak.
Very good morning to you. The parents of Madeleine McCann have renewed their appeal for information.
Operations on hold. A top hospital suspends all heart transplants after a rise in deaths. We're live at Papworth Hospital with all the latest developments. And Mighty Mouse, the super rodent who could pave the way to longer life.
This is Sky News with Julie Etchingham.
Good afternoon. The top story on Sky News today, hospital crisis.
Good afternoon, it's 3 o'clock. Leading the news this hour, death on the underground. Female suicide bombers target the Moscow metro at rush hour, killing dozens. We're live in the Russian capital as President Medvedev orders a security crackdown and Islamic insurgents are being blamed. Also coming up on Afternoon Live, not irritatingly silent. Joanna Lumley slams a government minister for an alleged smear over her Gurkhas campaign. And black gold. Oil is found in the Falklands, but it's probably the wrong kind.
Live from the Sky News Centre, this is Afternoon Live with Anna Jones.
Hello and welcome to Afternoon Live. Our top story here today, we will fight terrorism without hesitation to the end.
A call to arms, the head of the TUC to call for a public fight back against the coalition's cuts. Well, live in Manchester, where Brendan Barber will make his keynote speech in half an hour's time. Also today at Flushed Out, rain delays the men's final at the US Open in New York.
Live from the Sky News Centre, this is Sky News with Dermot Parker.
Good morning. Our top story on Monday, the 13th of September. Unions are being urged to unite and mobilise their members to...
Floods, danger. Heavy showers threaten to bring more Christmas misery for travellers and homeowners. Plus, the futuristic Queen, Her Majesty delivers a message in 3D. And the Pope holds midnight mass on Christmas Day at Vatican City, and thousands attend a service in Bethlehem.
This is Sky News with Gamal Fanbouleh.
A very good morning to you and a very Merry Christmas. Britain is preparing itself for a very wet Christmas Day, which so far has brought misery to hundreds of homeowners.
It's 7 o'clock. This is Sky News Tonight.
Our top story, building up Britain's anti-terror armoury. The Prime Minister sets out plans to deal with the greatest security threat of our times.
The secret Home Office report that exposes how British police undermined the Madeleine McCann investigation.
And the parents of 5-year-old Asher King are held in custody in Spain, hundreds of miles from their sick son.
Tonight, the former head of the armed forces speaks exclusively to Sky News, with a warning that the West still has no strategy for dealing with the Islamic State.
And Hollywood exposed the cloud of suspicion after naked photos of dozens of celebrities are hacked and leaked online.
Sky News Tonight with Adam Bolton and Sarah Hewson.
Good evening. The Prime Minister has announced a series of new measures to help Britain fight the terrorist threat from Islamic State militants. Watching Sky News at 5 o'clock, I'm Kay Burley. Our top stories. Found malnourished and chained. The 13 brothers and sisters rescued from a house of horrors in California. Their parents are charged with torture. And why Boris Johnson could now face the government's stacked checkers after saying his £350 million Brexit bust claim was too low. Good afternoon. This is Sky News at 5 o'clock. They were discovered malnourished. Accuses Boris Johnson of writing the script for an anti-Russian campaign after he tells MPs that Russia would be, quote, brought to heel if there is any evidence it was involved.
I say to governments around the world that no attempt to take innocent life on UK soil will go either unsanctioned or unpunished.
And Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince launches an advertising campaign to promote his visit to the UK, but his foreign minister concedes it won't stop the protests. Good morning. The Home Secretary is to chair an emergency meeting of the Cobra Committee later today.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Dermot and this is Sky News Tonight. The top story, summer holiday hopes dashed. The only viable major destination, Portugal, is pulled from the green list of countries. And an officer describes the moment he came face to face with the London Bridge terrorist. A very good evening. Summer holiday hopes for millions of people have been dashed following the announcement that Portugal would be removed from the green list of countries.